it looks like people are still waiting. They said closer but no stream. So I think we have some engineers in studio trying to get the stream going.
Starting to pop up a little bit.
On,
oh, no, you're right. Yeah.
But all of you on our Fox Local app, I think you can still... Oh, there's some ads. Let me turn that off.
Well, we have that.
We do. So we're hoping to get that up on YouTube. Oh, here we go. We're up, I think.
Yay, I see
you. Okay. So Louis Gonzalez, good morning. We had 10 people waiting for it to begin. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
RLS Vids. Okay, good. We are so glad to see all of you there. Button pushers got lost. Oh, no.
So the last time that we had an issue, Kai and I can't remember what the problem was, but Marco, our engineer, came in and he actually came on.
Yes.
And we said, what'd you do to fix it? He said, I pressed a button.
Okay. I can still hear
Sherry and not our audio.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kyle. Thank you. We have engineers here working on this. They've done an amazing job. If we could show you kind of a behind the scenes of everything that happens here in our streaming studio.
Live. It's happening live as we are
incredible.
Live. Maybe Kyle can come sit down and chat with us a little bit. It's his turn.
I know, right?
Marco came on last time.
So to all of you, Donovan, 6471, good morning. Emperor Ivan, Jared of Sonora, good morning to all of you. Let us know how you're doing on this Monday. And we appreciate you guys liking the video as well as sharing the feed as always and spreading the good word. And we love hanging with you guys as we kind of anticipate the beginning, I think, of 2026.
How was your holiday? How was your Christmas?
It was really good. Anita and I were chatting for all you at home and who are watching. It was like one of those where I just kind of unplugged a little bit. And
I unplugged a lot. I read 4 books.
Super reader.
Allison Brennan is local and she is one of my favorite authors.
Were they all her books?
3 were hers, and one was an author that she recommended to me because I was running out of her books to read. But I really just nothing.
Good for you.
I wasn't on social media, just a hello, good morning post. But
yeah, me too.
Other than that, I just really, like you said, unplugged, took a lot of naps.
We made, if we weren't making tamales 2 weekends in a row, I probably could have read more books like you.
Tamales are fun though.
And at the end of the, like around 10:45-ish, we'll have photos of my family and some photos of my family and some tamales and some tamale making. But,
I didn't send those to you.
No, that's okay. We'll show them again later. So here's the thing. If you all have traditions for the holidays, we'd love to hear those as well. And I know over the next couple of days, we'll probably also be talking a little bit about resolutions, whether or not you do those or goals or... my goal now is to read 4 books in a week like you, Anita.
Well, it's only because I had a lot of downtime. I messaged you on Christmas and said Merry Christmas.
I know.
And you said thank you. You guys, the entire family had just volunteered at the Salvation Army. Is that something you do every year? Is that a new tradition?
No. We've been doing it for a long time. So when our children were babies, when Kalina was a little baby, we would deliver the meals to people's homes.
Nice.
We did the home delivery. And then when they got a little bit older, we started going into the Salvation Army and serving dinner. And so once the kids were old enough, they actually said they preferred serving like dinner as opposed to the home delivery.
Because there's more conversation, more contact with people.
And the interesting thing, we actually showed up and we saw many of you actually. Darla Nicole, good morning to you. Michael Donovan, good morning to you.
Lisa Dinsmore, good morning.
Yeah, Eric Thompson. When we showed up, there was like some Fox 10 viewers who were not just volunteering, but who were also attending. And here's something that I think you'll notice once you do volunteer your time is that hunger does not have a face. Like if somebody is hungry or they feel like they need a meal, it doesn't matter what you could look like you can purchase your own meal, but maybe you can't. And you realize there's a lot of Arizona families who need help.
And if I can go beyond that, loneliness is not... It does not pick and choose, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
I'm at a loss for words here, but
so true. You're so true.
That whole meal, that whole event is about obviously feeding people and fulfilling a need, but that other need is maybe they need some conversation. Maybe they want to sit down at a table on Christmas and not be alone.
And serving someone, I think when you're, we actually this time around they needed help at the Welcome Center, like hosting and walking them to their tables, and so so that was a lot of it. You walk up to the front. My husband, Gary, and Kai, our son, were like holding the
signs.
Yeah, the signs.
Come
And,
this
hey,
way.
how's it
Come
going?
this
Merry
way.
Christmas. And then me and the girls were walking that was initial, and then they kind of switch everybody up halfway through. But, Merry Christmas. How many are in your party?
Yeah.
We're glad that you're here. And then walking them to their table.
It's a big deal.
It is a huge deal.
And we've both covered that. We've been out there, early morning live shots as they're
And
preparing.
actually, Dominique was there that morning, and so I got to see her.
Yeah.
And Mike Robison as well. So it was really wonderful.
It's all
really
about
wonderful.
community.
It is.
It's just
Which I think is really
what Christmas is all about.
absolutely. Yeah, so true.
Jesus.
Let's go ahead and absolutely. Yeah, and Jesus. Let's go ahead and show the mystery camera. I want to make sure that we get that in there on this Monday. And yes, good morning in Scottsdale. Sherry, Husky Mom, Charles David, Tammy, good morning, Mr. Paul Valine, Dave's Camping Adventures. Anita, we've missed them over the last.
Yeah, how fun.
This is not the mystery camera, but if it was, you surely would know where this was.
The Hotel Monte Vista in Flagstaff.
Yes, absolutely. Looking to the north at the San Francisco peaks where they've been skiing. Okay, here is your mystery camera. And so a very flat city.
They have a Dollar General.
Yeah, and it's pretty cloudy there today.
I do
kind
know
of a
because
haze.
my mom just sent me a picture from the Chicago area that they did get a little bit of a sprinkling of snow.
Yes.
And I know there are portions of the Midwest getting bad winter weather.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Your answers in the chat. We'll see you soon. All right, welcome back, everyone. 10:15 this morning. Mike Pace joins us now as well.
Hello. Happy New Year.
Yes, we are in the midst of it, right?
We are in the midst. How was your Christmas, my friend?
It was good. It was good. Had the day off.
Nice.
Had the in-laws in.
Where did they come in from? Do they live in town?
They live here,
They live
yeah.
in town.
So they went down to 10 onto the rigs. Yeah.
Was it your grandparents who live in Oak Creek, or where was it?
They did in Sedona,
Oh,
yeah.
they did. They don't anymore.
No.
Yeah, they did when you first moved to the
They
valley.
did, yeah. That was always fun trips going up there.
Oh my gosh.
Sedona is one of my favorite places in the state.
It's pretty amazing.
Yes.
Okay,
Mystery cam?
do you want to take a quick guess at this as well?
All
Let me
right,
go
yeah.
throw this up.
let's see it here. Oh, okay.
We have a couple of guesses. Luis Gonzalez, 9676. I was thinking Texas or New Mexico, but I'm going to stick with Texas. Let me see if we have any other guesses. We have B. Miguel, also saying Texas. I was thinking like a South Carolina, maybe. I don't know, like a really small town in South Carolina.
Yeah, maybe. Those are some good guesses, though. Oklahoma, Texas.
A little more mountainous. What do you think, Mike?
I'm, looking at it, somewhere southeast Missouri.
Okay.
Well, but they're getting snow in the Midwest.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go Wyoming.
Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to go just for fun.
Okay.
I want you guys to know I got a D in geography.
But I do think somebody guessed New Mexico. Darla Nicole said Kentucky or New Mexico. And I think someone else did too. And I think you may be onto something.
I think it might be Kentucky.
Okay.
I'm not changing my guess because I can't.
Okay, don't change it.
But
let's see. Okay, Anita, would you like to do the honors?
Here we go.
Roswell,
New Mexico. Okay, well, let's go right back to it. Darla Nicole, you were on to something, sister.
Nice.
So was Luis Gonzalez. He says he was thinking Texas or New Mexico. He said, but he'll stick with Texas. Oh, darn. It was like the guy or person who won the 1.8 million in Arkansas.
Gosh,
Billion. Put a B with it.
Oh, that's right.
Billion.
I was like, oh my, I was thinking, what would you guys do? I would not tell my kids that we won.
You wouldn't?
No.
But when do they know? When they start knowing?
Wouldn't there be signs like when you stay home every day and you drive a G-Wagon into the garage, buy a second house in Hawaii, Paris, and Italy?
Yeah, I would just say, kids, I don't know, Mom.
Would you just say the stock investments did well this year?
I've been saying, Mom's been saving. Mom's been saving money.
Yeah.
We had an aunt you didn't know. She gave us a lot of money. Would you keep working?
Yes, I would.
Ooh,
I actually love my job. I love it here. I really do. I love the creativity, the people I work with, like Anita and Mike. I love the interaction.
And don't you think after if you weren't working, wouldn't it be boring? Even though you had all this money, you think it wouldn't be boring
You
though?
would travel.
You know what Anita would do? I think though you would maybe become a yoga instructor.
That way, I'm still active, doing things
with people. I think so.
I would own my own yoga studio so that I could teach whenever I wanted.
Yes.
I would travel.
What about you,
I would
Mike?
see the world.
I already know what I would be doing. For one, I would retire, but I would be working at Home Depot and just watering the garden area.
Plants.
Yeah, because I love to garden.
I love Home Depot.
I love the smell.
I love
of Home
DIY
Depot.
stores.
Yeah.
So I am from the Chicago area. We have a store, Menards. We don't have a Menards.
I
here.
know.
We were talking about how much we loved Menards.
Yes.
It's not good.
I think there are some stores that have smells like an auto store that kind of brings back the nostalgia.
The DIY stores have it's that wood.
Yes.
It's the fresh
it's like wood and maybe even the rubber from the gardening gloves or the work
tire
gloves,
stores
the
have
tires.
that smell. Costco, how about Costco and Sam's Club? Do they have a smell?
Not really.
No.
Unless you're walking near the tire
The samples.
They only have a money smell at Costco because that money's going right in there, right?
They do have good deals.
I have you walk in, it's like a $10 large pizza. It's the best deal.
Okay, I'll tell you guys a funny story. Do we have time?
Yes, we have time.
So we had, you heard this story.
Yes.
We had Tim on from KNIX a couple weeks ago, and Syleste and I, when I was filling in for Ty on the broadcast side. And Tim came on and said, here's the best Secret Santa gift. Go to Costco and get a $150 gift card. And so this is what happened, that his co-host Brooke from KNIX went in and purchased she said, I need a $150 gift card. So she walked out and she's looking at the receipt and she goes, are you kidding me? It's at $1.50. So she went back in and the lady said, you would be surprised how many people want a $1.50 gift card because that's how much a hot dog costs.
The hot dog
and the drink.
And the drink, yeah.
And the drink.
And I'm like, what are you getting for $1.50 these days?
It's crazy. And they are really amazing, by the way, because the hot dog fits the bun.
And then you don't have to worry about having too many of one or the other.
Yeah. We have a very special guest here with us on Zoom this morning. We have the Phoenix Public Works Department on with us at this hour. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What's your name? I'm so sorry.
Good morning. My name's Verdiana.
Oh, hold on one second. We cannot hear.
Maybe you're still muted. Is that possible?
Can you guys hear me now?
She's not.
We can hear her behind the scenes, but we have an engineer in the building working on that for you. While you're up, we're going to give a little bit of background. So this is really important, what you guys do with the Phoenix Public Works Department. You accept live Christmas trees, wreaths, and garlands.
Oh,
yes.
Do you guys have a live tree or a fake tree?
fake tree.
Fake tree.
Artificial now. We did real for many, many years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this is only the third year we've done artificial.
See, a lot of people still go for the real tree. They love the smell, the look,
Yeah.
the nostalgia.
Count to 5 for us if you don't mind.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Still working on it.
Okay, we're
baby.
still working.
Stay close, sorry.
Stand by. So while we're working on that behind the scenes, you were just asking about artificial. Have you always done artificial, Anita?
Growing up, we always had a real tree. Always had a real tree. And then when they became popular, Johnny and I have always had an artificial.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit easier for us.
Yeah.
But so many people, I love the real tree, the smell.
Yeah.
If
it's
you
so
had
great.
a real tree, when would you have to get it, and how long could it last? Like,
I would say by now. Well, I put my tree up very early this year because we only had the 28 days between Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So my tree was up the week before.
But it's
Thanksgiving.
artificial.
Yeah. But if I had a real tree and had put it up, I would say by now it'd already be dry and ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to
and
go.
you don't necessarily just want to dump it in the alley.
No.
I don't know if you can.
Well, if you have bulk trash pickup in your neighborhood, I think you can actually do that. Michael Donovan says they can hear her.
Okay. We can't hear her,
Charles
so we don't know
Steen, we
what
can
she's-
hear it in the stream.
I mean,
Thank
we can
you.
just let her go and let her
Okay,
talk.
so let's give her another shot here, and see if we can hear her. Oh, hi. Okay, can you give us count to 5 one more time if you don't mind?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We can. I think we boosted the speakers behind the scenes here, and so we're able to hear you in a way. Give me your name if you don't mind. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, my name's Verdiana Cervantes.
Oh, nice to meet you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. What a great program. Tell us about this program here with your Christmas tree disposal program.
Yes. Yeah, so the City of Phoenix Public Works Department, every year we have a compost tree composting event where residents are able to drop off their live trees at 16 public parks and 2 Sunbelt facilities. So basically when residents, instead of landfilling the Christmas tree, they can drop them off at one of these few select locations. And then what we do is we take it to our compost facility and grind it up, make it into mulch. And all of that compost that we produce from our compost facility actually goes back into public parks and other public facilities throughout Phoenix.
Okay, that is so amazing because, as you mentioned, we don't want to fill up those landfills. So obviously there are rules. You don't want to leave the ornaments, the garland, or anything on that tree. So if people are going to bring those in, what do they need to know? What do they need to do?
Yeah, so just making sure that it's a completely clean and natural tree. Obviously, we don't want anything artificial, making sure there's no wires, no decorations, and making sure that there's no trees. A lot of people like to put that like frosted snow on there. If it has that, we can't accept that because at that point it kind of affects the composting process, but just making sure it's a completely clean and natural tree.
And so once you all receive the trees, you compost them, where will the remains be used?
Yeah, so the remains, everything gets taken to our compost facility in 27th Avenue and Lower Buckeye. So that's out our south facility. And all of that gets reused and gets implemented back into public parks and other public infrastructures throughout Phoenix.
How long have you guys been doing this? It sounds like such a fantastic program. Really, truly a win-win for so many people.
Yeah, we've been doing this now for like almost a decade. So we've had it every year. And we have it up until usually the beginning of the year. So this year it's up until January 9th that residents can drop off their Christmas trees at the public parks.
You know what I love about this is it's a full circle moment for the tree, right? From when it started in the ground and now the mulch going back into the ground there and around the area to beautify some of the parks.
Yeah, we love that. And yeah, it's really interesting seeing the process too. We don't usually offer like a public tour of it, but residents can go online to phoenix.gov/recycle plus, and we have videos there of our compost facility and the different machines we use in order to produce the various types of compost.
That is so amazing. I bet it smells amazing in there too. Like if you have some of those trees. Have you toured the facility?
Yeah, so whenever we go, usually we go towards like the first week of the year to see how many trees we may have received. And yeah, you can smell like it smells really good because it smells like pine trees and like citrusy too. It smells really good. And it's outside, but because there's so many pine trees, it just smells like Christmas. I love it.
Oh, like one of those candles that you buy.
The balsam fir.
Balsam fir candles, only better because it's real. How long is this going to last for, and where exactly can people drop off?
Yeah, so this is up until January 9th. So residents can start dropping off now up until January 9th. And it's at 16 different parks and 2 Sunbelt locations. So if people are interested to go see where they can drop off, the nearest public park, they can go to phoenix.gov/publicworks, and then in there they'll be able to see the different locations where they can go and drop off.
Okay, one last silly question. Do you guys start mulching after everything's dropped off, or are you mulching as people are bringing stuff in?
I think it's, from what I'm aware of, it's collected every day.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like mulched like on the daily kind of whatever.
As they come in, we have to wrap. We don't have much time left, but thank you so much for all you do to protect our environment and give us an option with the City of Phoenix. Thank you so much. Have a happy new year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's give you a quick shot here. Cactus Park, Cesar Chavez Park, Deer Valley Park, Mountain View Park, Washington Park, a number of different locations. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
You know what I mean?
You can use, if you
Check
want,
1,
the
2, check.
immigration protest bells. All right, welcome back, everyone. 10:30 this morning. You are looking live at Breckenridge, Colorado, where folks are taken to the slopes. It is busy there.
It is. And you know that it's that beautiful time of the year, that great stretch from Christmas to New Year's, right?
Yes.
Remember when you were in school? That was the greatest stretch.
It really was.
It's the stretch where mom and dad are paying an arm and a leg because there's blackout dates. And so you got to pay full price for the ski lift. You got to pay full price for the condo.
Yeah.
It's also that stretch. You see so many memes where people are like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm cooking. And you really don't, leading up to Christmas, you know what you're doing. You're prepping for Christmas. Leading up to New Year, the week between Christmas and New Year's, I think a little different for people.
It is.
Quick shout out here to Tammy. Good morning to you. And I think we have, I don't know if it's a new viewer in the chat box or now, but Tristan Singletary, we want to say good morning to your mom. He said, hi, Mom. So probably because on television, you can see the chat. How
Mom,
sweet is that? And so we have, the chairlift is cooking, Emperor Ivan says. And yes, Husky Mom, I did watch that very exciting Bears 49ers game last night.
Go Bears.
Yes.
So who are you guys going for?
Oh, Bears.
Okay, the Bears.
The Bears. I'm from
Bears.
Chicago.
Yes, I am too. And it was close.
It was,
what I was thinking?
It was really down to that last play.
Well, it really was. And I said to myself, I says, okay, if they win this game, I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl.
I think they're going to the Super Bowl.
Well, if the Bears won, it was better for the Seattle Seahawks, so that's why my husband was going for the Bears.
Okay.
The Bears. I personally was going for the 49ers only because Brock Purdy is an Arizona boy.
Oh, the Gilbert boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I was rooting for the 49ers. My husband is sitting next to me and he's like, no, I'm going for the Bears. He's like, why do you want the Niners to win? If the Bears win, it's better for the Seahawks. And I was like, I don't know these things.
I just know I'm going for the Arizona guy.
Yeah.
I had to root for the Bears.
It was close.
I'm from Chicago this time.
Yeah, it was a classic tug of war game. I mean, they score, we score, they score, we score. Boom.
Yes. And thank you for all the likes on the video, by the way. We are reading your comments and we love hearing from all of you. Mike, of course, you're, in Live Now, you guys cover politics, not just here in Arizona, the United States, but the world. Interesting what's happening in Florida.
Oh, I know. So President Trump spending his Christmas break at Mar-a-Lago, his estate there, and the world leaders are coming to visit him. The big one here was over the weekend with the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, and they are trying to iron out a peace deal in this war. And it's all going to come down to what Putin, is thinking in his head. If he wants this thing to end, Zelensky in Ukraine, they want this exit ramp, but they want security guarantees from the United States. They want to be protected for what Zelensky said, 30 to the next 50 years. Yeah. Remember, they want to be in NATO, but it doesn't look like that is going to be part of the ironed out plan here.
What an interesting table to be sitting at,
I know.
My goodness, yeah.
Trump and Putin met back in August in Alaska, and there were many details of that meeting that were released, but everyone made it sound like it's very forward. August 2, where it's almost January, feels like a very long time. I think people were hopeful we would see something manufacture a little bit quicker, a little faster.
Sure.
We had that one meeting. Zelensky, they've met with a couple of times. I know Putin's been going back and forth with a few of the cabinet members. Where do you see this heading now? Is this ever really going to end?
I don't, when we look back at this video from August in Alaska, it looked like, from all accounts, that Putin just used it for a photo op more than a meeting.
Absolutely.
Because the meeting, remember, went short. And that wasn't a good sign for the United States and President Trump, trying to get this deal done. It looks like he just wants to kind of continue to, talk about it, but just go in circles. That's what Russia does so much.
He's dragging his feet.
They will go in circles. Yeah, we'll take a meeting because they want that photo op, right? But today, President Trump did talk on the phone to Putin. That was the new news.
Is that a big thing, you think?
Do we know how
we'll
long the conversation was, or what was?
It was less than an hour.
Wow, that's a long time, actually.
Yeah. So that is, but I think a lot of that time is, waiting for the translation, right? You speak, wait for the,
Yeah. What did you get from, I don't know, looking at the body language? This was such a different meeting than the one we saw in the Oval Office with Zelensky prior to the August meeting, where words were exchanged. Heated words were exchanged. People even made comment about Zelensky. I think this is the video we're looking at. The fact that Mr. Zelensky did not wear a suit yesterday. And now that's so noticeable every time we see President Zelensky with President Trump.
Yeah.
It's different.
Oh, yeah. And I think Zelensky should win Turnaround of the Year award in 2025, because earlier in the year with that meeting in the Oval Office, it did not go well for Zelensky.
No.
And but he was able to come back and, kind of mend the relationship.
Which was important, I think. So President Trump is also going to meet with Israeli Prime Minister, right? Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yes, they're meeting, and they're supposed to do a joint news conference in about 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So we'll learn a lot more coming out of that meeting. This is all about phase 2 of ending the war in Gaza. So we'll see. I think the good signs are, I think a lot of people were thinking, this deal was going to already be broken down by now. And it's still so far has been holding good in Gaza. So that's some positive signs. And I think how they iron out this phase 2 should be interesting.
Yeah, that will be interesting.
Back to kind of the dinner at Mar-a-Lago, and you had all those people there. What an opportunity, I think, too, for everybody to sit across from one another and hopefully try to dish on what needs to be done.
Yeah. And you get a very more comfortable setting, I think, too, at Mar-a-Lago. It's not the stuffiness of Washington, D.C., of the White House. You get more of a look here of Mar-a-Lago and kind of
find out if they're a vegetarian or a pescatarian.
Maybe go out onto the court, shoot a couple balls.
Yeah, and enjoy the West Palm Beach weather.
I wanted to ask you before we get to break here and your thoughts on this as well, Mike. I read this headline, and I think there's some fleshing out that needs to be done. But the fact that Iran has declared war against the U.S., do you know any details on that happened in the last couple of days?
Well, the tensions continue to grow, in the Middle East there with Iran. And I thought earlier in this year, things were going to be more settled down after the strikes.
Yeah. It's interesting, too, when you take a look at all these different conversations and wars and things that are happening on the other side of the world. And it's just, global conflict, I guess, that we're following into 2026.
And I think what you got to look at, too, is Iran is they talk a lot, but their action doesn't always follow through.
It doesn't they don't back up what they're saying.
No. If you look earlier in this year, they did the exit ramp really quickly when they were going to get back to the U.S. for the strikes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they called ahead to the United States to let them know, hey, we're going to strike in this area. And Qatar, it was all mapped out there because they like to talk up a big game.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, I think, declaring war against another country is very different than making a threat.
Yeah.
And so what does this declaration mean, and where does it go next?
Yeah, I think that'll be the interesting part.
Can you imagine an hour on the phone with Putin? That is so crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, what type of things they must have been talking about. And we'll get back to hear a little bit of this because you said 20 minutes, Mike, and 20 minutes we'll hear maybe with the Benjamin, not you.
Yeah, for the joint news conference, yes. We should learn a lot more information coming from that meeting.
Okay,
the other story that we're following, and you both can chime in on this as well, is we're talking about this plane crash that took place in New Jersey. Let's get right to the video. You can see one of the helicopters actually going down there and comes crashing to the ground. This was, in fact, sadly caught on camera as you just saw some of that video. This is in Hamilton, New Jersey, and the helicopters burst into flames. And, interesting as well what they mentioned, some of the new details coming out this morning, is that the pilots knew one another.
Yeah, and that they also went out to breakfast maybe that day?
Yeah.
Of the crash?
Yeah. And they were friends. They had gone out to breakfast on many occasions, had seen each other, but crews quickly arrived. They put out the fire. Police say the two pilots involved in the crash, one of them initially was killed, the other in critical condition. We believe that the one that was taken to the hospital is not doing well. We're going to double check on that, on how that pilot is doing. Both of those helicopters privately owned, and no other passengers were on board besides the pilot.
Very tragic.
Yeah, it's just heartbreaking. So, according to witnesses, and here's the video of all of those individuals and detectives, and of course the NTSB will be on site. The FAA, of course, will have an investigation as well. But just heartbreaking when you think about, you never want to see this, but especially this time of year. Witnesses say the pilots knew each other very well, often had breakfast together, Mike, as we were just chatting. And so the NTSB, those are some of the individuals that you just saw there. And they're going to look into some of the technical issues. They're also going to look into pilot error. And we have seen a lot of weather situations going on there as well.
It does look like it was a little snowy and cold. And I'm going to say that this is the helicopter, because it doesn't look like that one necessarily caught fire in the front.
Yes.
In the right there. So it's possible that is where the pilot survived.
Yeah.
And the other helicopters where we see that burned out cabin in the front there. So
yeah, our thoughts and prayers are with
tragic,
them. Absolutely. Quick mention here of some beautiful shots around the country. We're going to get right back to this shot. This is up in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Very nice.
It is Mount Rainier, yeah. And so this is a camera situated there in Tacoma. And beautiful shot there. We're talking about also weather, speaking of whether or not that was something they'll look into with that helicopter crash, whether or not weather was a factor there, but also holiday travel and weather impacting a lot of it. Roughly 6 million Americans faced winter weather warnings this past weekend as flight delays and cancellations slammed the Northeast. Thousands of flights have been delayed since Friday as well.
We flew in yesterday, so our flight was 5 a.m. out of Chicago O'Hare. And we landed late. I didn't look at my watch to see if we took off on time. There was a lot of turbulence. The wind was really bad, so that slowed us down significantly. We had a lot of people who were trying to catch another flight.
Oh, make a connection.
And make a connection, and they missed them.
Oh,
because,
no.
They had 7 minutes when we landed. I'm looking right now at Sky Harbor's board.
Yes.
And right now they have 8 cancellations. Listen to this, though. 153 delays as we speak.
Wow, that's and we're in a city where it's sunny.
But the trickle-down effect, though.
Yes.
You have weather. My dad called and said the winds in the Chicago area, he said roughly 70 miles per hour. And that's it, right. And then we read a script earlier today that's at 60. So Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then that's at trickle down. You have one plane from Chicago or Wisconsin that's late.
We'll continue the conversation. We're going to take a quick break after this. everyone. 10:45 this morning. You are looking live at the Pacific Northwest, and that is Tacoma, Washington, looking towards Mount Rainier. It's just a beautiful sight there.
Do you think that that's where Ron Hoon is today?
No, he is not.
I know.
He's probably, interesting. Last time, Anita, you filled in on the show, he chimes in. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like, that was a great conversation that you and Anita had with, I believe it was with the Jewish rabbi.
Oh, yes. He mentioned that to me too.
Yeah, he's like, that was so great. He's like, I wanted it to go longer. and
Well, tell us, text us live. Get in the chat and tell us.
And we let that really breathe. Like we went.
Well, there are some things where you can have that type of conversation.
Yes, that is so true.
Yeah. I'm looking at the misery map. So if you guys are ever out flying or just are interested in anything aviation, you can just search flight aware misery map.
Yes.
And they will show you the worst hit cities when it comes to cancellations and delays.
Yes.
And you guessed it, Chicago O'Hare, 154 delayed flights, 12 canceled. Denver Fort Worth has 45 delayed, and it says all flights to major destinations are affected. I think we read the number 37 delayed here in Phoenix, 1 canceled. Let's look at NYC. 91 delayed, 14 canceled, and in DC, 46 delayed, 13 canceled. It's a mess out there, and it happens every year this time.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
And so there are a ton of flights that are canceled around the nation. Of course, we were unusually warm for Christmas week.
I think it was unusually warm in Chicago. It was around 35, 40 degrees every day.
And now you have those crazy winds. Would your dad say 70-mile-per-hour winds?
He was talking to Johnny, my husband, yesterday on the phone in the afternoon. He's like, you guys just missed it because I think the winds are like 70 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And then when we had a script today that said they were estimated to be 60.
Yeah.
So and that was a few other states and cities, but not too bad. And then they have the snow.
Yes.
And then you've got that wind. It's the pilots and the planes. The pilots are trained so very well. They can take off and land in almost anything.
Except turbulence still doesn't feel good.
We had a couple of people gasping yesterday.
Yeah.
Like you just heard this, like scared.
And sometimes the clear air or turbulence can almost be worse because it catches you by surprise.
Charles David, 5137, says, I used to work for American, and Chicago was always an issue.
Yes.
The Windy City.
And Charles David also says, I love keeping the windows open, which is perfect here in Arizona because that's what we're doing. Louis Gonzalez, thank you for the sweet message you posted on there as well. And Zippy Pro, good morning to you. So far as well, Anita, you were just reading the misery map.
Yeah.
On FlightAware, they've logged nearly 650 cancellations, more than 1,100 delays nationwide. And what were the current numbers again at Sky Harbor Airport as of right now?
We've got 37 delayed, 1 canceled.
Yeah.
It's that trickle-down effect.
Yeah, it really is.
It doesn't matter how great the weather is here. Let's look in Seattle.
Great thing is that if you're delayed in Phoenix, we have great restaurants. And if you have to stay, enjoy the sunshine.
Yeah, we have great weather. Great weather.
It's pretty amazing.
Seattle, 26 delayed and 2 flights canceled.
Yeah.
Where we just saw Mount Rainier in the Pacific Northwest.
And we'll take a look at a little bit of this video. We were talking about all that storm activity. This is what's happening in some parts of the country. Now, if you're a skier, you're hoping for great conditions. Unfortunately, like in states like Utah, they just have not had the amount of snow that they desperately need to cover. And we need the snowpack for our summer months to fill the reservoirs, in Arizona. So as much as, we hate the winter sometimes having to deal with crazy conditions and flight delays, it really does do us some good when we need it in those summer months.
Speaking of, I am up in the Arizona Snow Bowl snow report. And unfortunately, they opened early.
They did.
And they opened, we were so...
They had good conditions
They
early.
had fantastic. We were so enthusiastic about it. Because they opened early, they had great snow. They were able to make snow in addition to that. 0 inches in the past 24 hours, 3 in the past 48. Excuse me. 3 inches, 3 days. Seasonal total, 65% and 50% of the lifts are open. 41% of the trails are open. And so I know a lot of people the kids are off this week, and they are really wanting to get up there and get a little bit of that fun snow activity.
Let's look at sunrise. Can you pull sunrise up as well? While you pull up sunrise, I'm going to say good morning to all of you. So Ramiro Hernandez, good weather. Yes. Let's go ahead. If you're new to the feed, our numbers have kind of been shifting here and there, but I think we may have some newcomers. Good morning to you. Let us know if you're new to the feed, maybe how you found us in the chat. And we're so glad to see you here. Okay. Friendliest chat on YouTube. Okay. We got sunrise numbers here.
So 4 out of the 67 trails are open.
Okay.
That's not fantastic.
No.
0 snow, 0 inches in the past 24 hours. 2 out of the 8 lifts are open, and their base has 12 inches. So it sounds like we were a little bit more successful here in in our state at least. So 15 inches total season. So we've actually had a little bit more snow in the Snow Bowl area if you're looking and comparing the two. But I know Ty mentioned he was doing weather for Crystal today. Rain is coming.
New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, yeah.
So fingers crossed that it might bring a little bit. It doesn't necessarily look like it right now, but those winds, they can change.
Yes.
They can shift.
And Tammy Lynn says, I like to go playing in the snow, but I want it to stay where it's at when she goes home. So let's talk about this. Do you do resolutions or goals for the new year?
I switched more to goals than I did resolutions because I find that I think I can be forgetful. It's not that I don't want to do the resolution, but I think that we have so much going on that it's difficult to. And I don't do things like don't eat chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
Or I think I set goals.
Like lifestyle goals. We
were talking about it this morning, and I said that I saw someone chose a word for the year, and I can't remember
optimism.
And mine was optimism.
Yeah.
And it's like, let's leave. And I'm typically, do you know the movie Pollyanna? If anyone at home knows the movie.
I'm trying to think if I've seen it.
And so it's an old movie and about a little girl who is just Pollyanna, always optimistic and always happy, and unfortunately has a terrible tragic accident, but is still optimistic through it all. And so I think I'm tend to be like that.
Yeah, optimistic.
But let's not complain. Let's not look at the negative.
Glass half full.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think that's important for a lot of people as well.
And I think that with everything going on, and you get tired and you're doing this, which we're grateful to have a lot to do, but I'm really going to try to focus on it's going to happen. Things are going to happen.
I think that goals and resolutions, if you do them, it's interesting because some people do, some people don't, and sometimes don't want to do them because they feel like then what they say, but by the end of January, you may actually not
do
care.
it.
Yeah, not carry it through.
I don't even know. What is
speaking of resolutions and goals, listen to this. We're going to take you to New York City because this is something that has taken place.
I love that.
In New York City. They call it Good Riddance. Participants, they say that the event helps them reflect on the past year as they look towards 2026 with new hope. So all these people stand in line. They put things on this paper. They write down little notes, things they want to say goodbye to. Negativity was one of them there. One of them was divorce that I read earlier. Then they rip them up and they throw them in this trash can. And you see our local Fox reporter there, student loan debt, hatred and injustice, comfort zones, misplaced loyalty was a couple on this one. They tear them up, put them in the trash can, and they were speaking to the reporter, our local reporter there in New York City, live on the air, and then they burn them in the trash can. They're like, bye-bye. But take a listen to what a couple of them had to share. And let me go ahead and see if I can find Good Riddance, number 9. I'm going to try to find this for you. Actually, I don't know if we have the sound bite. Bells, do we have sound from the Good Riddance or no? Not a big deal if we don't. Oh, okay. That's okay.
While we're looking for that,
we're going to think of glass half full.
Okay.
Who cares?
Well, there's a burning bull ceremony that will be held right here in town.
Oh, when is that?
And that is going to be taking place New Year's Eve, 5 and 6 p.m. at the Unity of Phoenix Spiritual Center. Okay. So you can write it down.
Oh, yes. Bell and 7th Street is where it's located, by the way.
So you can write it down. I love that you know. Like, I can tell you, there's a little restaurant where I ate a little piece of sushi, and it was near this, and you'll say, oh, yes, the kitchen's purple, and they're located at 7th and Missouri. You know all this always. We have this information on our website, fox10phoenix.com. Just look up Burn Your Concerns.
Yes.
But someone told me many years ago, when you were trying to get over an ex-boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Write their name down. and then burn it, or write them a
And then
letter
stomp
and burn
on it.
it,
No, I'm
and then
kidding.
burn it and be done with it. And then you never think about it again.
Okay, let's get to this. Maybe you let us know in the chat if you have any holiday traditions. This is one of them. So we had for 2 weekends during December, we made tamales at our house. That's me, my cousin Stephanie. Next to me, my Thea Mary right there, and then my mother on the end. So my mom and my Thea Mary, they are sisters. My cousin Stephanie and I are only 5 days apart in
Oh my
age, so we actually
gosh.
grew up more like sisters. I have a sister Desiree, but my cousin Stephanie almost grew up with me. So we all made tamales, and red tamales is what we made. So here is a look. I believe at that. So we made. I'm trying to remember how many dozens, but it is a tradition, and it was interesting. I had this conversation with my 18-year-old daughter. And I said, one of these days, I hope that your children come to my house and we all make tamales together. It's one of those things that is just kind of, it's long, it's hard. It's, it makes for a very trying day. But at the end of it, it's like you have that time with family.
And the memories.
And the memories that you just, there's no other way to create things like that.
I don't have any pictures, but on Christmas Eve, we have what we call opłatki, which are wafers, and they're rectangular and they're stamped with like the nativity scene, and everybody gets a little piece, and you walk around the table and you chip a little piece off of someone's, they chip a little piece off you, and you exchange well wishes for the year to come.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so it would be like Celeste wishing you much wealth, health, and happiness in 2026. A lot of
that's
optimism.
Nice. What do they taste like?
Well, if you're Catholic, communion.
Oh, okay, like crackers.
Well, like it's just like a thin wafer, like a rice wafer almost. Yeah.
I think it's so important when you think about some of those traditions that maybe all of you who are at home and watching, it's so important to have, even if it's like one little thing, like you take, something to a neighbor.
Yeah.
Or it could be
Cookie
anything. It could be,
exchanges.
it could be a cultural thing, like in your case, Anita, or in mine with tamales, or it can be like, maybe a gathering with neighbors or a phone call or Christmas cards. Or little things like that, and I think make you feel like it's the holidays, even when
And that you look forward to every year.
every single
Because
year.
now your daughter's going to come back next year and look forward to, I want to learn how to make the tamales. Your youngest daughter, by the way, looks exactly like you.
Oh, Kalina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're all taller than me.
I
oh,
messaged you that.
Anita send me.
You sent me a photo of you guys at Salvation Army on Christmas, where you volunteered, and I wrote back and I said, and they're all taller than you.
They are. I'm
They're
the
all
shorty
beautiful,
pants.
but they're all taller than you.
I am now the shorty pants in the family. So real quick, before we go, because we have about 10 seconds or so, we want to say, Brandy the Bookworm, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. AZ Raider and a couple of you have also chimed in. And if you're new to the chat, we are so glad that you are here, and happy to ring in the new year as well. Anita, you and Ty are taking over.
We are going to. You're back, right?
Yes, at 11:30.
11:30.
Check one. Ooh.
Didn't get
Check one, two.
I'm still here, and so is Ty.
Why is that just me?
We never know.
It's one of those days. Isn't it?
I had last week off, and so I feel like I have completely. Tell me at home, folks at home watching. Good morning again. If you take some time off work, do you completely 1000% forget? And like you're out of your everyday routine. Do you completely forget how this routine works?
Yeah, I get it. I feel you. I always forget my password. All right.
Well, this time you had to reset your password.
I did have to reset my password, and I keep forgetting my password.
I
my new
set
password.
several alarms because I was afraid I wouldn't get up.
Okay.
And then also I had to put the address of the station into the Google Maps because
No,
I
you
didn't. I
didn't.
know, I'm kidding. New year coming, so we have some tax changes looking ahead to next tax season. President Trump's Big Beautiful Bill Act, which was passed earlier this year, could lead to some major changes. So this includes a raise in standard deductions. Singles will get an additional $750 deduction. Married couples will be who filed jointly get an additional $1,500. And additionally, the state and local tax deduction cap is going to jump from $10,000 to $40,000. These changes and more could mean a bigger refund or possibly a bill at tax time, which is really right around the corner. I'm one of those people who the second I get that tax return, I file.
Get all the stuff.
I
ready
do
to
not
go.
wait. I do not absolutely drag my feet on that one.
Good for you. I'm a procrastinator.
You are?
Well, kind of.
But you're so you're so type A with everything else in your life. It really surprises me that you do that.
I know. Well, I'm not that big of a procrastinator, but I don't wait till the last second. But sometimes I wait a little bit longer than I maybe should. You know what I mean?
Well, let's keep talking finances with our next guest because I think finances are tough, but very important.
And you know what? This is kind of good morning. We have
Hi,
Eric
Eric.
with us this morning. Eric, give us your title.
I'm co-founder of All Wealth Planning, but I'm also a financial planner by trade.
Okay, perfect. We are kind of talking about getting kind of ready for the new year. Everybody, this is kind of the time of year where everybody starts to set those goals. We had a fitness advisor in last week talking about fitness goals. So we're talking about financial goals. And you sent over a list that I thought was perfect. This is such great information. I printed you a copy because I knew you were busy. There you go.
Thank you so much. See, he is type A.
See, I knew. You were going to need
every
this.
year, one of my goals / resolution, I don't necessarily make them, is to be financially fit, to up the investments, to get more savvy, because I don't feel that I understand them. And so where does someone like me who doesn't really know how to invest in the stock market, how to buy gold, how to set up that 401k start?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. First of all, I'm a procrastinator too, unfortunately.
No, you're
Thank you.
not.
I'm
I don't
not
believe
alone.
it.
Only because I'm usually trying to help all my clients get
other
their stuff
people.
done on time. But yes, unfortunately, I'm a procrastinator. Great question. So one of the things that you hit on is something that we talk about a lot of times, even when it comes to fitness, is sometimes the goal is too broad, right? So I want to be more financially fit. What does that mean? I think one of the most impactful things you can do at the end of a year or the beginning of a new one is just take stock of the prior year. How much did we earn in 2025? How much did we save in 2025? How much did we invest in 2025? How much debt do we have? Because it's hard to create a goal around something that you don't even know what you did prior,
Great
right?
advice.
So taking a full accounting or a stock of what you did the prior year, I think can be super impactful. It's usually going to surprise you. You might think you saved a lot more. You might think you spent a lot less. So that's usually where we try to get people to start.
And real quick, what's the best way to do that? Is it like printing your American Express bill, or what's kind of the best way to
Bank
kind of get
statements,
the
your
best
pay
look at all that?
stubs.
Great question. You know, there's a million things out there for everybody. If you're tech savvy, there's probably, 15 dozen apps that you could use. I use a good old fashioned Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet. Yes, it's, I try to coordinate spending onto one document. So I try to use one card for everything and then, of course, pay it off at the end of the month. If you're not a credit card individual and you use like a checkbook, of course, you can be a little more old fashioned and account for it that way. But yeah, I'll pull all of the statements, enter the spending in, review all of whether it's my retirement accounts, my investment accounts, my emergency fund, et cetera, and put those balances in. So you can get as tech, savvy as you want. But again, sometimes the good old fashioned, handwritten document or Excel spreadsheet gets the job done also.
We see a lot of people living, I guess, paycheck to paycheck.
Sure.
Things have been a little, inflation, things are a little uncertain, a little tough. How do you go about if you're literally, I can't buy this because I need to pay the mortgage or make the house payment. How do you go about trying to find a few extra dollars? Because you do need to plan for the future. You want, like you said, start with 1% contribution. How do you find that?
A great question. People, depending on what you're reading or what you see online, everyone's saying you have to save more. Well, it's great, but if you can't save more because you have 3 kids at home and you're barely making your mortgage payment, it's pretty impossible. One of the key phrases of 2025 that, not to beat the horse harder, was waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, there's a lot of financial waste in all of our own individual homes. One of the reasons why I like the exercise of taking stock from the prior year is, when you're looking through these statements, you might uncover one of the subscriptions for a TV service that you've been paying that you've never canceled. Or, I actually, I pay for a car wash membership. I realized I was being double charged for the entire year. So it's just things like that.
Or you're not even using the car wash service.
For sure.
Yeah.
I also am a big fan of doing a budget exercise, whether it's with yourself or with your spouse. And what I mean by that is, take a piece of paper. On one side of the piece of paper, put all of your fixed expenses, mortgage, utilities, car payments, daycare, et cetera. On the other side of the piece of paper, if it's by yourself, write down what you think your discretionary expenses are, things for lifestyle, eating out. Of course, if you're in a relationship, I would encourage you both to do it. Now, I would encourage you both to do it if you can have these money conversations in
without
a productive manner.
going at each other's throat.
I don't want to call regarding that I caused a divorce in 2026. So, separate, write down where you think your discretionary dollars are going. And usually it's a big eye opener when you compare it to the actual credit card statement of you think you're spending a lot less on eating out. You think you're spending a lot less on random Amazon purchases. So again, just finding out where those dollars are going is usually the first step, and then identifying where some of that waste may be.
I want you to know that I will never pull my Amazon purchase history and add it up. I'm just telling you that right now.
I know. So I went on Amazon to buy a couple things yesterday, and I got like the little thing that's like, you've saved this much this year. And I was like, if I saved this much this year, how much did I spend?
It's so easy.
But even, one thing, and this might sound corny, but, set a certain limit where whether it's, $25, $50, $100, it's all relative. So anything over $50, make yourself wait 24 hours to purchase.
I like that too.
Right?
I've been trying that too. Like, do I really need it?
Do I need this 7th white sweater for the holiday season?
Yes,
like,
you
things
do.
like that.
Yes, Eric, you do.
I love what you said too about those small steps, big results. And she was kind of mentioning it, but you say by just adding 1% to your 401k automatic contribution, you might not even notice that that's gone. And when it's kind of out of sight, out of mind,
you don't realize it's
you
gone.
don't realize.
Yeah.
Correct. So automate everything when it comes to savings, right? So pay yourself first, as I like to say. If you're
Does that include 401k and maybe like an IRA contribution?
401k, IRA, emergency fund, which is extremely important.
Yeah.
Paying down debt. If you have these automated systems in place, instead of relying on, habit at the end of the month, make it a habit that's automated. But yeah, some of these small amounts, big results. If you increase your 401k contribution by 1% every year over the course of 3, 4, 5 years, you're now increasing at a significant percentage. Statistically, a vast majority of the people aren't even maxing out what they should be putting in to at least get their 401k match, let alone maxing out their 401k contributions in general.
Sure.
So that 1% could be life-changing if you're giving yourself enough time throughout your working years.
And I like what you say too. What you don't see, you don't spend.
You don't miss. And
Correct.
you don't know it's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I made a fatal mistake. Well, not fatal. It wasn't fatal.
Yeah, let's hope not.
I made a mistake, and Ty knows all about this. I took too much out for taxes. Things change.
Sure.
And I was withdrawing and living on this. And even my husband was like, where's your money going? What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. And then I finally went in and added it up. And so I put the money that I got back because all came in a refund, but I didn't know I was missing it was the point and then I thought, okay,
you gave yourself a little bonus.
I survived on that. I survived on that. So
for sure.
Good.
But from a financial perspective, you probably want that to go into a retirement account versus the IRS sitting on it and not paying you interest.
That's very true.
Sure.
What does everybody have? I mean, a silly question maybe, but a 401k, and if you don't, what's a reasonable way to start pulling money, and what do you put it into?
Yeah, a great question. So, not everybody has access to a 401k. Folks that are in the nonprofit space might have access to a 403b, which is similar to a 401k. For the individuals that are, business owners or independent contractors, there are other retirement accounts, whether it's an IRA and different variants of that they potentially could have access to, or just, a regular, traditional taxable brokerage account as well. There's different tools for everyone depending on how you're paid or how you're compensated, but there is a way for everybody. So even if you have an IRA or access to an IRA, maybe it's increasing that contribution by $50 a month, $100 a month.
We've only got about 2.5 minutes left, and I really want to get to some of these other points that you made, because you mentioned the emergency fund, which I think is so important.
Yes.
You kind of need that little slush just in case you lose a tire, you have some sort of medical issue, heaven forbid, come up. How do you kind of start to grow that emergency fund?
Yeah, great point. I'm super passionate about the emergency fund, usually because I see a lot of people who are constantly using credit cards as their emergency fund, which that's a really expensive way to save for an emergency. Again, I like small actions, big results. So, at bare minimum, we would like to see at least 90 days of expenses, of life expenses, mortgage, utilities, groceries. So basically cover your mug is what we'll call it, those important expenses.
Cover your mug. I like that.
I like that too.
Ideally, 6 to 12 months, but at minimum, it's 90 days. So if historically you haven't had a 90-day emergency fund, let's just start there instead of saying, I'm going to get to 6 months. Then what does that look like? So maybe your emergency fund needs to be $6,000 to cover your family for 3 months in case anything were to happen, or you weren't able to work, or you have some sort of catastrophic cost, right? Well, then let's break it down. So maybe goal number one is let's get to $2,000 in emergency fund. How are we going to get there? What spending can we cut to get there? After you get to 2,000, increase it to 4, get to 6, so on and so forth. I think that if it's just to have a broad emergency fund, that's usually why New Year's resolutions fall off the radar come February. So give yourself small goals that you can achieve. You get that little motivational boost inside.
You see it. It's like, oh, look at my account. I've got 150 in there.
Correct.
Oh, I'm going to put another $1 in.
And it creates a snowball effect.
Yeah. We have 30 seconds. I love this monthly money date.
If you can hold on, we can hold you through the break if you don't mind, and then we'll kind of wrap everything up if that's all right with you.
Thank you.
That works.
Because you got some really great points. I want to make sure we get on all of them.
The monthly money date, yeah.
All right, so we're going to have much more with Eric coming up in just a few minutes. Ways to get savvy for 2026 when it comes to your budget, because you don't want to be, I don't know, without money. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 2 minutes, you guys.
Muted the new Zoom. Okay. Hey, Ty.
Test the audio real quick.
Hey, Ty, do you hear me in your ear right now? You can hear me? Okay. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, cool. Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back in. Having a really great conversation. Question from Charles David, 5137. What should folks do if they're laid off? Can you tap into your 401k? Should you tap into your 401k?
Great question. Can and should are obviously
two different
answers.
Yeah.
Can you? Oftentimes, if the plan allows, especially if you're laid off or separated from service, you are able to potentially withdraw some funds from your 401k. There very well could be penalties and additional taxes. So it's not the most efficient way to plan for layoffs and emergencies, which is why usually when we're talking about financial planning or financial planning 101 basics, the emergency fund is always right there as far as one of the first things we talk about. Because unless you have a safety net here, it's hard to start filling up these other buckets and plan for some of these other goals.
You mentioned penalties, but are there situations and cases where they won't let you into that 401k to take it until you retire?
Many of the plans and most plans out there now, especially with the different variations of, Secure Act 2.0, there are ability for, potentially hardship withdrawals and things like that. So, every plan is different. Every situation is different. Usually, if we have any questions like that, I would encourage you to either contact whether it's your advisor or you can call the plan administrator directly. There's usually a phone number on your statement that will let you know what sort of the rules are depending on separation of service, et cetera.
Gotcha. Well, Eric, you've been a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
we didn't get to all of your questions, so we're going to have you come back if you don't mind.
No problem.
To finish this out.
And then you can perform your monologue.
Eric, how do folks find you if they are interested in talking to you?
Absolutely. So you can visit our website. It's www.allwealthplanning.com, and you can read more about our firm, the types of people and the folks that we're able to help. And there's some more information on how to contact us there. So thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Well,
and
Eric,
I like
thank
what
you.
you said. It can be affordable to have someone help you. You don't have to spend your entire paycheck.
Because it is kind of daunting. The 401ks, the 403bs, the IRAs, the Roths.
Stop.
It's like
You're making
a lot of numbers and letters that you don't know what they all are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Good to
Happy
see
New
you.
Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Speaking of New Year, how's the forecast looking?
I know. Crystal has the couple of days off, so I've been filling in for her on weather. And man, we have been talking about some big changes on the horizon. If you maybe were outside already, you know how windy it has been, especially on the northwest corner of our state. We're going to continue to see some breezy conditions. And then as we move in to the middle of the week, which of course is New Year's Eve, we're going to start to see some storms move in and slightly cooler temperatures. So if you want to hang out with us on the news at noon, we'll have an updated forecast for you, but we're going to keep moving things along with yet another guest here this morning.
Absolutely. I'm going to be sure I get this right. Dr. C.B. Pratt.
That's correct.
Hey, welcome in. Happy New Year, I guess.
Getting close.
Since we're
getting
past
close.
Christmas, am I not allowed to say it?
Sounds good.
Retired U.S. Air Force Colonel. And I love this. Turned real life treasure hunter.
Yes.
So what exactly does that mean, Doctor?
Well, I've been treasure hunting. I mean, we've all been treasure hunting probably since we were kids. I really got seriously into it when Forrest Finn put out his treasure. You guys are probably aware of that 12, 13 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was finally found in 2022, I believe. But I had a solution that was very close to that. So I knew my analytics were pretty close to right on as far as, using my methodology to find research. And so, that's when I kind of got into this. And it actually started when my daughter gave me W.C. Jameson's book, Lost Treasures of American History. Huh. And I'm a history guy. I have a master's in U.S. military history. I teach history sometimes. So just to see a couple of these stories, I was like, wow, I could, with my research methodology, I could put some locations on some of these treasures, and so then it just became an addiction.
Well, I was going to ask you because it's kind of like putting puzzle pieces together that kind of leads you to a map, right?
It is. My methodology, I call it the 90% rule, and it really is diving deep into these stories. These stories have lived in different journals, newspapers and authors' stories for the past 150 years, and so putting together all of their different stories and then coming up with a new analysis and then using a deeper analysis, which I've used in military planning for the last 20, 30 years, and I teach in my different courses, is to really get into the who, what, where, when, and why, and how, and to really dive deep into these to find out are these still actionable treasures? Are they still exist, and where might they be?
Let me ask you this real quick, because you've ever played that game Telephone when you were a kid, where someone starts with a sentence and it goes down the line, and by the time it gets to the end person, it's all convoluted and crazy. How do you? Because I feel like that's kind of history a little bit when it comes to something like this. How do you make sure?
Yeah,
that's
factual. It's factual.
That's historiography 101, really. I mean, centuries of telephone. How do you get past that? Well, a lot of these stories that you see in treasure hunting books or whatever, they're handed down through generations, and so you got to really go back to the characters and the time and the environment. I call it the environmental scanning. Is like, let's go back to the time, the environment. Where was this from? Who did it? Are there journals? Is there any early type of transcripts or interviews or some sort of journals, photos, you name it. But then, stories, even though they may have been handed down through telephone, they have an element of truth.
Yeah.
And it's finding that element of truth and then bringing that out and researching that element to go, oh, I get it now, and that's where it is.
That's your little nugget.
That's your nugget. Yeah, I don't need the whole story to be correct. I just need a small part. And I've got several examples throughout my 3 volumes that talk about, things like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You mentioned is it the Forrest Fenn?
Forrest Fenn,
the treasure hunters. Talk a little bit about that, because I'm not sure if many people are familiar and how that led to the way you develop theories.
Yeah, Forrest Fenn, he was a retired colonel out of New Mexico, El Paso, I think, or somewhere close. And he hid $1 million worth of treasure. And he wrote a poem, basically to sell his memoirs. So he put the poem in his memoirs to sell it. And then if you read the poem and understood his book and understood him, he would basically lead you to the treasure. It was worth $1 million.
Wow.
300,000 people joined in this hunt over a course of 10 years. 300,000. It went crazy. And so that's kind of, I got into the hunt that way. And then I started understanding that my methodologies were bringing me close to these targets. And so that's when I said, hey, maybe I got something here.
How did you
24 line poem.
Yeah, 24-line poem.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it was found, and it was exciting.
Where was it?
It was just in
his backyard.
No. So right outside of Yellowstone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right outside of Yellowstone, right alongside.
Yeah, look at that.
I believe it was the Madison River.
Oh, cool.
And so it used to be a place where he used to go fishing. In fact, it was 500 yards from a fishing hole he basically lived at when he was a kid.
Yeah, that is
This
cool.
is so neat.
Yeah.
Well, how did you develop your methodology in order to kind of crack some of these cases?
Well, I call it the 90% rule. I wrote a 4th book, so I got 3 volumes of.
Here, let's hold them up so people can see what they look like.
These are the 3 volumes.
Kind of right here so people can see.
My final book is called Decoding America's Lost and Hidden Treasure, and that is my methodology to how I came up with these. So it really is understanding the story, the characters in the story, the time of the story. Is this 1800s, 1700s? Where's this location? Is this a train robbers that are escaping a posse, or is it the Union soldiers hiding the lost payroll, right? So, I mean, every story is different and unique, but they all have an element of, I know you can find it. There's clues, right? And this 90% rule is all about, before you even pick up a shovel, you got to do all of this research. Get the old USGS maps, bring out the Google Earth, bring out LiDAR, muography, whatever these tools that you can use to hone in on where these target zones should be. Then you're not out just scanning, looking for something, spending tons of time and dollars, on something that you're wasting your time. You got to do the research first. That's the 90%.
That's what I was going to ask you when you're talking about treasures, and you pretty much answered it. What kind of treasures are we talking about? Like an actual pot of gold?
Oh yeah.
And people really do go around the world. These aren't just Hollywood movies we're watching.
These are not. These are real treasures in the ground. And these 58 stories. Well, I'm going to my wife and I are heading out to Montana next week on a hunt that I'm pretty cool. I think I'm pretty close on it.
What can you tell us about it?
You can give it away.
Well, I'm not. I mean, you're going to tell us
Hold
where.
on, how about this? Why don't you come back when you're back from it?
I will do that because I'll tell you what, it's exciting. I've been working on this this solution for about a year.
Wow.
And I think I'm closer than anyone.
How do you
on it.
find out about these
That's
treasures?
what I was going to ask you. Where do you get that first
Well,
little
gosh,
nugget?
people have been writing about treasures all the time, but they don't give solutions. They just give the story. I'm actually giving solutions. I've done the 90% here. So if you read these stories, I've done all the research. I actually give you coordinates.
I'll just take all 3
I actually give you
copies.
target coordinates, and I give you all my analysis, my statistical analysis, my mapping analysis. It's all in these books.
Why are you doing that if you could just go find it yourself?
Because I can't find all these 58. And I was in Saudi Arabia when I wrote all these. And so, I'm like, and that's why I called it If I Were You, because I'm in Saudi Arabia. I can't go on these hunts. But if I were you, I would go here. Right? And
Where should we go?
It's right in the books. I'll leave these here for you.
This. How fun.
Forget about the lotto ticket.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, though, like, how do you not get your hopes up, though?
Oh, excellent
Because I
question.
can only imagine that you're, like, so hyped up. You and your wife are taking the time and
Excited
money
to
to go to
go.
Montana. And I hope you find it. I really do. But what if you don't? Like, how do you kind of, I guess, tamper expectations?
Here's what I love about it. Really, part of the intangible treasure is the journey itself.
Yeah.
It's getting out there and actually
good
doing
answer.
a hunt.
Yeah.
And that's what I found most fulfilling. I don't need the money, but man, finding treasure would be great. But you know what? Finding yourself in these journeys on what you can accomplish and the things you see in the history that
you
you're
learn.
steeped
That's
in.
the real treasure, isn't it?
It is the
What
real
you find
treasure.
inside. That goes along with like resolutions and goals and stuff like that.
We've always heard since I moved here, people were talking about the Lost Dutchman gold.
Yes.
Do you think that
I
there's
really want to
gold
do a
out
book
there?
on that. I have studied Lost Dutchman gold out here in the Superstition Mountains for many years. It's captivated me. I didn't include it in this 3-volume series only because it would take an entire volume on its own.
Really?
And there's just all these myth and legends about how it's protected by this, secret military organization, whatever. And listen, I was
You were
colonel
military.
in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Like I know what's out there, what's not out there. And so I kind of want to demystify some of this stuff and de-scarify, I guess, some
But
of
you
it.
think there's something out there, though?
I definitely think there's something there. Listen, there wouldn't be this many rumors and stories. Listen, they may be stories, they may be myths, they may be legends, but they have a grain of truth in them.
Something's
Yeah,
there.
there's something there, or it wouldn't continue to be there. So
We're wrapping up. We have about 40 seconds. How do people find you? How do they buy your book?
yeah, go to cvpratt.com. That's my website, and you're able to go from there to Amazon. It's also on Amazon, and just go to my website, and it'll point you to
What
different
a cool
versions.
job in life you
Really
have.
quick, someone says, tell him I found a place on the Peralta map.
Peralta's map? Yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't know what that means, but that's a comment I'm sharing with you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, appreciate that.
It was nice to meet
Good
you. Thanks so
luck.
much
Nice
for
meeting
coming
you.
in.
Back
Good
if you
luck.
find
Yeah,
your
please
treasure.
do.
Thanks so much. I'd love to come
Even
back.
if you don't.
All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
and enjoy these.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Celeste's back, you guys.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back on this. I just want to make sure I can hear you okay. All right, there we go. 11:30 this morning, and you are looking at a beautiful shot here of downtown Phoenix on this Monday. And thank you to everybody who's hung out with us and stayed with us here on this Monday after Christmas. Thank you so much. And let's go ahead. I've been chiming in with some of you here online, and let's go ahead and say hello to a few of you as well, because many of you hang with us most of the day. So Easy Hippo, Zippy Pro, that is. Or Hippo, whichever. Good morning, and thank you for hanging with us. Louis Gonzalez, nice to see you as well, my friend. And Ron is off today, and so is Desiree. So I'm hanging out with all of you, and we're going to get right to it this morning. We're talking about Valley Metro and some of the free rides that they are offering for New Year's Eve. So this is quite exciting because, of course, they want to make sure that you're nice and safe. And, of course, you make sure that you're not on the roadways if you've had a couple of drinks. And let's get right to some of the information that they have for us. Free rides on Valley Metro on New Year's Eve. I was taking a look at some of the background information on Valley Metro, and 38.5 miles, two-line light rail system serving many cities around the Phoenix metro area, Tempe, Mesa, and Phoenix. There are 51 stations connecting major areas like downtown, Arizona State University, Sky Harbor Airport, and there's a 20-plus hour service with frequent peak service. There is an official map that's online, and you can check that out, but no need to. AZ Raider, good morning. Nice to see you, my friend. There is, and Louis Gonzalez, thank you. Thank you. He says, welcome back. There's no need to check in or anything like that on an app. You just pop right in on New Year's Eve. If you need a ride, you just board the train and you ride it, and that's just about it. That's all you have to do. So that is great news. Something else we have for you this morning. We're chatting with TMZ on this Monday, and let's get right to TMZ here, as we're going to wait for them for a few more moments, but that's a little behind the scenes coverage that we have for you this morning. Some of the other information that we have for you with light rail, this is actually a spectacular service for a number of different reasons, because of course we have events going on all around the valley. Some of the coolest events that we have going on around the valley, and some of the information that I have for you this morning. And let us know, pop into the chat. Are you doing anything for New Year's Eve? Do you love to stay home and just hang there in your jammies and watch New York ring in the new year? Or do you like to go out and hit the streets and maybe have some fun? So there are a ton of different events happening on New Year's Eve. Let's start with downtown Phoenix. There's a champagne toast, if that's something that you love. That is at the Phoenix Symphony, and they have this complimentary champagne toast to ring in 2026. They have a cherry bomb New Year's Eve. That takes place, if you like more of like a disco type DJ situation, that takes place at Club Contact, and that is right in the downtown Phoenix area. There also is a number of different hotels all around the valley that have different types of events. The Pemberton, that's a restaurant. The Sheraton Phoenix Downtown has an event, along with Bitter and Twisted, which is a cocktail parlor in the downtown area. And of course, that Metro Light Rail that connects downtown Phoenix with so many different cities all around the valley. So that's great news. Husky Mom, good morning. Charles David, Brandy the Bookworm, good morning to you. And just Charles David, we want to make sure that plenty of folks get home safe. Let's start with Scottsdale. Let's go there with a couple of the events they have. Weft and Warp Dinner and Masquerade Party happening there as well. And the Wecopa Casino Resort New Year's Eve Party, that's taking part on New Year's Eve. They have, this one is at the Ember. They have a buffet and a sports and entertainment accompanied by some special casino prizes as well. So I'm going to open up the chat and see what you guys are. Oh, here we go. AZ Raider is thinking about heading to the Casino Arizona. And it looks like Charles David says that would be fun. So maybe we've been talking for quite some time about maybe connecting some of you, our FTT family, together, maybe that is the night you guys all get together. I usually hang at home. I'm not usually a big partier when it comes to New Year's Eve. You know, I like to just kind of chill. Here, listen to this, a Renaissance affair. It's a chic New Year's Eve party that's happening at the W in Scottsdale. That's one of the events happening there. Let's go back up. I'm going to pull up some of the other East Valley events and some family activities that are happening as well. So holiday lights, this is Los Luminarias. Have you guys seen this? This is at one of the events here, including the zoo lights, is, oh my goodness, it's so beautiful at the Botanical Gardens. And of course, those free rides on the Metro Light Rail, they want you to celebrate responsibly, grab a complimentary ride home, courtesy of the Coors Light Free Rides program, so transportation free of charge from 7 p.m. on New Year's Eve to 2 a.m. across all transits. Let's go ahead and see if maybe we can chat with TMZ this morning and see if they're ready. Eric, good morning to you, my friend. Can you hear me okay?
Good morning. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing really well, thank you. How was your Christmas?
Yeah, fine.
Okay,
How about yours?
we need a little
better
bit.
than mine.
You need to. What? This is a safe space, Eric. What happened or what didn't happen?
I don't want to bring down the mood here. You know, it's, the many Phoenix folks watching. So, there's always next year.
Okay, all right. You know what? That is a great way to look at it. Glass half full as you're moving on forward, buddy.
God willing, we'll have next year.
Yes, absolutely. You know, something that the big headline is Beyonce now in the Billionaire Club. This is one of the topics you guys are chatting about at TMZ. What took her to this position?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are saying, you know, breaking into country, stepping into a new genre was part of it. She had the huge Cowboy Carter tour this year, which I believe was the second largest tour in the entire world this year, behind Coldplay, which obviously they had their moment, which probably added to their sales. But yeah, so she had a killer tour. She won Album of the Year. And then also she has Parkwood, which is a company that produces all of her music videos and her documentaries and is a major contributor to that billionaire status.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned Parkwood because I feel like and that was the most surprising part of this for me anyway, that it wasn't necessarily her music. It was the fact that she created this production company. So on the back end, she's making money all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, I think this just goes to kind of the Taylor Swift effect of owning everything that you're creating, owning your masters, owning your music videos, owning the assets you use to build out this album. She also has a whiskey line, a bourbon line. So I believe it's called Sir David. So yeah, so she's, you know, she has her hands everywhere.
You know, it's interesting. A lot of where she has her hands, you know, to use your wording and what she's dabbled in, it's very reminiscent of something that Taylor Swift started. Whether or not you're a T Swift fan or not, I think you can definitely look through and see at least her business sense or the people that she's leaned on in terms of marketing and business. They kind of helped her along the way.
Yeah, I think more artists outside of even music are going to look into controlling what they're creating and really being able to keep hold of their art that they're, you know, given to these studios or given to these record labels.
Yeah, that is so true. Let's chat about Kim and Kanye because what's happening with them? Was there a reunion of sorts?
Yeah, it sounds like it was a very nice, peaceful Christmas for the Kardashian West clan. Kanye spent Christmas with Kim and the kids. Bianca was there as well. He also went to the Nutcracker with Bianca here in LA, and he went to Disneyland with some of the kids this weekend as well. So he's all over LA with the family. He seems to be in good spirits. He was at a Dion Cole comedy show as well. So he's getting around and seems to be happy, and you know, everyone around him seems to be happy as well.
How crazy that Kim and Bianca look like sisters.
Yeah. Yeah, every time we get photos of them, we're like, this is, we don't know if they're copying each other, if it was just a coincidence that Kanye picked these two women. We're not really sure, but every photo, it's more and more they're looking like each other.
You know, it's interesting, too, when we think about it. And, you know, you look way back when the Kardashians, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because my 13-year-old daughter she's home for winter break and she's watching the Kardashians. And I didn't know initially. And just like yesterday, the day before, she popped it on the TV, and I thought, oh my goodness, there's people that are looking at like those early stages of the show, and you can see how many years of success this family has had.
Yeah, I believe it's 25 seasons now combined between the old show and the new show, something like that. I actually worked on a season of the Kardashians, it's a lot of fun. I mean, obviously, people love it, so that's how it keeps going.
Okay, dish on that. What did you do on that show, and what was it like?
I was on the production team, so when they were filming at the houses and things like that, I was doing that. I was very low level. This was like 10 years ago. So it was just a lot of driving their cars, moving them to the next spot, moving to the location, being chased by the paparazzi, and now here I am at TMZ. So yeah, it was a very full circle moment, but it was great. They were all very, very nice, truly.
Oh, that's nice. Were there like snacks on the set and things like that? Like, did you get little, that's what I would be looking for.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't able to like raid their kitchens, but we had our little crafty in the car and things like that.
I love how you mentioned that you were getting chased by the paparazzi, because I think that word has a bit of a negative connotation, or at least it used to. And now TMZ, you guys, I mean, that's really how TMZ began, right?
For sure, yeah. I mean, a lot of our camera guys, obviously the foundation of it started with our own camera guys. Now it's a lot of freelance people who work for agencies, and we negotiate with agencies and things like that. So we don't have as many actually people from TMZ out in the field anymore, but we're still a few. That's the backbone of the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time this morning.
Absolutely.
And wishing you a happy new year and a prosperous 2026 and a better Christmas in 2020.
I'm hoping.
All right, buddy. Take it easy.
Guys. Bye.
We'll talk to you later. Thank you. We are going to go to your mystery camera this morning as well and take a few moments. Many of you chiming in the chat as well and saying, hey, yes, we do stay home and hang out in our jammies at home. And I'm right there with so many of you. This is your mystery camera for your 11:30 half hour on this Monday. 2 days left here, 2.5 days, I guess you could say, before 2026. Welcomes us into a new year. So where do you think this is? You can chime in the chat and let us know. It looks a bit cloudy, some high clouds. It looks like a light river or some sort of a lake here in the foreground that you see, in lots of walkways in and around this beautiful city. And so right now we have a lot of you chiming in, talking about all kinds of great topics. And Husky Mom 25, nice to see you here as well. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have your answer on the mystery camera. Share some of your mystery camera guesses. We've got New Mexico or Colorado from Brandy the Bookworm. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back, everyone. And thank you for joining us. 11:45 this morning, and this is your mystery camera. We have a lot of great guesses out there, and thank you for so many of you liking the video. I think Brandy the Bookworm earlier in the show, maybe in the 10 o'clock hour, said, "Come on, guys, let's see if we can get 25 likes on this video." And we've got 20 thus far. Brandy the Bookworm, thank you. And Husky Mom, 25. AZ Raider says Wyoming, Georgia, Charles David, Utah with Louis Gonzalez and Husky Mom. And Brandy the Bookworm is saying, either New Mexico or Colorado. And yeah, I think there's a couple of things happening here. Obviously, you have the hills behind you. Or I guess depending on the city, they might call them mountains, in fact. The waterway down in the foreground, and it looks like some sort of a park potentially. I think that was, yes, Brandy, I knew it. We so appreciate all of you in the chat. It's just, it makes it so much fun and amazing to converse with all of you and know that there's kind of this interaction with so many of you. So thank you so much. So here is, let's see, Charles David says he's stumped. He says, could be a tough one. All right, I'm going to go with the guess of, I'm going to say New Mexico, because Texas is fairly flat, but New Mexico maybe. Okay, so here is your mystery camera. And although I can see the answer this morning is Kerrville, Texas. So I was wrong. Maybe you were right if you were looking at the camera. Let's take another look at your mystery camera this morning. I was thinking, nope, it's not Texas. And sure enough, it was. Maybe that's why I didn't win the Powerball, because I guessed the wrong numbers. So yes, Husky Mom, good morning. Yes, Brandy the Bookworm. And thank you to everybody who's sharing a part of your day with us. And thank you for liking the video if you have not just yet. Something really cool that we like to do here on AZAM is we like to look back at the year and look back at the different stories that were big, like a lot of the big companies. Rolling Stone does it, New York Times does it, TMZ does it, a lot of the big organizations, and we here at Fox, we like to do it as well. Throw this in the chat if you'd like, but I was looking at a couple of different postings, and we're talking about the best shows. I mean, FTT could be on this list for sure, but the biggest shows on television, and now they're kind of grouping all of them, television and streaming shows. And I have only heard of a couple of these. And according to Rolling Stone, these were some of the best shows. Go ahead and throw them in the chat. If you have one of your favorite shows, Be Kind Forever. Good morning, friend. Nice to see you. Give us some of your best shows of 2025, or maybe something that you're streaming or watching right now. Here are some of, I'm just going to read them for you. Adolescence. This one is from Netflix. I have not seen that one. And I vaguely remember hearing about it, but it's a 4-part British limited series about a kid accused of murdering a classmate. That was on Netflix. That one, according to anyways, Rolling Stone said it was the best. Andor from Disney Plus. I'm going to go through a couple. Death by Lightning, Netflix. Have never heard of that one either. Department Q, that's on Netflix. I haven't heard of that one. I must not be that hip when it comes to some of these TV shows. Dying for Sex, FX on Hulu. Here's another one, Long Story Short. That one's on Netflix. Remember, for a long time, it felt like Netflix wasn't coming up with some really great shows, but a lot of these are on there right now. This one I have seen. It's Pluribus on Apple TV. That one, of course, is done with the Breaking Bad universe. A phenomenal new sci-fi series that sucks you in almost immediately. That was one of the other shows. I know Brandy the Bookworm's like, I've never heard of these shows, and I'm right there with you. AZ Raider says he's hooked on SVU. Ray 623 AZ. Are you living in the West Side? Because that 623 I think is the West Side number. It says Dexter Resurrection. Yeah, it's crazy. Be Kind Forever says I won't pay for Netflix. So do you pay for any streaming service? I love watching the Red Bull soapbox races. So fun. That's Charles David. And Husky Mom 25 says, who are they polling? And I'm right there with you. The Pluribus on Apple TV. I have seen that. Severance on Apple TV. I've tried watching that one, and it lost me in like the first episode. It was so difficult to watch, but I hear once you get past like the first and second episode, it gets a lot better. Task on HBO, that was another one. And let's see, The Chair Company, HBO. The Last of Us, which is pretty good. That one is on HBO as well. The Lowdown on FX and The Pit on HBO Max. Those are some of the biggest ones. The Rehearsal, this is the last one. I believe this is the last one I have for you here on this list. According to Rolling Stone magazine on their article here with the best of television shows, both streaming and on regular TV, The Studio. That one is with Seth Rogen. Have you guys seen that? It's actually pretty interesting. He's like this movie producer, gets promoted, and he wants to do this kind of focus on independent films and kind of like the true art with movie making. And the studio just wants to do like all of these flashy graphics type of shows, like Avatar type thing, you know. And he's like, no, I want to do this other thing. So it's about him trying to balance both of those worlds. And so the quote it has in this Rolling Stone magazine is, Hollywood hates itself. Meta comedies are legion. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's parody of what passes for the Dream Factory in 2025 is definitely in on the joke. So it's kind of like they're making this parody about Hollywood and what it's really like. So we like to look back at some of those lists, of course, and thank you for sharing your thoughts on I've been hooked on BBC Earth and is it Magellan TV? Husky Mom says. Louis Gonzalez says, I put Netflix on for a couple of months and catch up to everything and then shut it down for 6 months. I've done that a couple times where I sign up for the trial and then I binge watch the show and then I cancel the trial. Shh, don't tell anybody. Okay, so we're also going to look back at the cool house, which was really cool to think of, okay, what were some of the coolest houses? This is a segment that runs every Monday at 9 a.m. on Fox 10 in Phoenix, Arizona. And on the Fox Local app, we have a cool house show that we also produce with our promotions department. They do a fabulous job. TJ and Carl and myself, we kind of put it together. You can catch that on our Fox Local app, which many of you are watching right now. But let's take a look back at that now.
A beautiful house. What year was it built?
This house was built in 1937 and it is considered a Monterey Revival style.
My favorite part of the house, if you come on with me this way, in a kitchen, typically you need some pantry space. How about this? And look how this just folds out. Oh, brilliant. As you make your way upstairs, the woodwork, it's beautiful on full display. And then take a look at this window here. At one point, it looked back out to the backyard. Now it looks right into the primary suite. Well, right off the primary bathroom, this house has a lot of little quirky areas. And here's another one. I love this. Look at all the extra storage space you have here. And if you have to steam that blouse, look at this. You got your own ironing board. Much like the front, you have lots of fresh, grassy areas.
Yes, Celeste. And if you look along the back wall, you can see the row of trees that gives the illusion of being in a private resort.
It's called Orpheum Lofts. It was built in 1931. That's why you see this beautiful Art Deco architecture that we have here in the lobby. And we're here at the elevators, which will take you right up to the penthouse.
Now we've stepped right off this elevator. Nick, this is beautiful. And that artwork, that's gorgeous. Nick, this is really special. The views are amazing from up here.
Yeah, aren't they? So this roof deck is totally private to the penthouse. It's the highest private roof deck in the entire valley. Most of the newer buildings you see, they put a community roof deck. This is a true penthouse. And it's special because Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho from 1960 was actually filmed here on this roof deck.
We're at the Bergen at 44th Street in Camelback. And with Streetlights Residential, we're the owner and developer of this property. We have 58 units averaging 2,400 square feet.
First thing you see when you walk into the building is the beautiful lobby that you have. Second level here, this is a shared space.
Correct. So this is our resident amenity lounge up here on level 2. Residents can rent this space out, use it 24 hours a day. We've got a private dining facility, fitness facility up here on level 2. Spills out to our pool. And speaking of 24 hours a day, we have a full-time 24-hour-a-day valet and concierge restaurants here.
First thing you notice when you walk into the unit is the character, that it's timeless but luxurious.
Sure. Yeah, as developers, we tend to err toward more of a traditional aesthetic, right? We're building people's homes at the end of the day, and we think people really gravitate toward that. So as you'll see, very high-end finishes in this. We've got a 12-foot kitchen island, get 6 stools around it, have the family for breakfast. It opens up out into an expansive living area.
Resort-style pool in the backyard.
Yeah, it is a crazy resort-style pool. It's not only oversized, it's got a kids pool. You have a huge hot tub that basically can hold 10 to 12 people. A lot of glass tile that just brings out color throughout the entire day and night.
If you hear the sound of speed and the smell of burning rubber, it could be this: the go-kart racetrack wrapped around a pond with real fish. This is Tom Allman. Tom, you're also here working with RJ Cushing, you two together on this property. Where are we? In a very special part of this.
So this is the underground gun range?
Your own personal wellness center.
And it has everything you would absolutely ever need. We put salt on our food, but we don't see it very often on a wall.
Yeah, this is a Himalayan salt wall. You know, this is the massage room, so you want to have a very zen environment.
We're on the basketball court. Yes, it even has one of those. RJ, Tom, this is very cool.
I mean, what house would be complete without a covered basketball court that you can utilize year-round? You have stadium seating, invite your friends, family, whoever you want to pick up games. You have a drop-down screen to watch games as you play games. It's just a beautiful property.
This place right here specifically created for the piano. The entire home is wired to hear whoever is playing that beautiful instrument. And it leads us right to, Joel, this great spot, this library.
Yeah, this library, it's impressive. I mean, we have custom millwork right to the top of the ceiling.
And over my shoulder, you see the kiddie pool. And Joel, that's great, but we're standing on top of the bridge and the lazy river is running underneath.
There's a lazy river in your backyard. This is one of the largest residential pools in Arizona. We have a lazy river that connects everything. We have a hot tub. We have multiple waterfalls and a diving pool at the end over here.
You have a great kitchen, outside seating areas, and even a casita.
2,000 plus square foot casita on the property, over 2 acres. It's a beautiful place to live.
This home is so special for many reasons. First of all, that view of Mummy Mountain. We sit right on the 4th hole of Paradise Valley Country Club. This is the first home in Paradise.
That is a quick look at some of the coolest houses. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m., everyone. Have a great day.